Good afternoon and welcome back to Splitting the House. My name is Jerry Gertz of Curling Zone. I am joined by mixed doubles pair Jayne Stirling and Fraser Kingan of Scotland. I hope I got that right.
You did.
Welcome. So the two of you are playing this weekend in Tallinn, Estonia, in the international mixed doubles there. I was certainly a little surprised to see a Scottish entry on the entry docket after hearing of a number of teams not being able to travel. But I know you were able to actually make it work. How did you end up finding your way to Estonia?
So a bit of background, we are an independent team and we're not part of the performance setup in Scotland. So we can kind of choose if we want to travel or not travel. And some of the other Scottish teams who are part of the programme haven't been able to travel at the moment. The programme, I think, has decided that they're not keen for teams to travel just now. And it's partially also that on return to Scotland, you have to quarantine for 14 days from a lot of different countries based on their COVID prevalence. But Estonia is relatively low compared to other countries at the moment. So it's one of the countries that's on the list of places where you don't have to quarantine on the way home, which helps us out a lot and meant we could come over here, which is great.
Yeah, I think that is probably the biggest limitation you're going to look at. I imagine the two of you are going to have to find something to do for 14 days once you decide to go home. I don't know if you've got any future travels planned before you get back to Scotland, but yeah, it's certainly a challenge to figure out how to fit this all in, and it's definitely a problem with training too, that if you were to have to quarantine, you'd probably have to end your training for 14 days at the same time too.
Well, I don't think training's the biggest issue just now. The only curling club in Scotland that's open just now is the National Curling Academy, and that's only for the British curling programme teams. So we actually came out here having not been on ice since the start of March. So it's been about 6 months since we've been on ice, and yeah. So
well, the results are still rolling in though, 3-0 at the event so far. How's the curling going?
yeah, it's been pretty good. We've just kind of not overcomplicated things and just kept things simple, and yeah, it's been we've kind of surprised ourselves with the results probably. But
Yeah, I think that's called beginner's luck, is what they call that. It may run out tomorrow, maybe not, but no, it's been good. And I think sometimes when you've not been over focusing on technique or anything like that, you just get there, look at the ice and throw as well as you can, then that's sometimes a good way to do things.
So you did face some a little quarantine when you did arrive. You did have to take a test as well in order to show that you were clear. What was your experience with that, and thoughts on the process, the travel, and everything around that now?
So travel was definitely a bit unusual, a bit different than what we're used to. But for the most part, we felt pretty safe. Our flights weren't too busy, things like that. So we traveled. We were originally booked to fly direct to Tallinn from Scotland, but maybe a week and a half beforehand, our flight got cancelled. So then we rebooked and flew through London. And when we arrived in Estonia, we just did everything usually. And when we arrived in the airport, we filled in a quick form and paid the money and got a COVID test, which was unpleasant, not painful, unpleasant. But it was okay, over and done with. And after that, we traveled straight to our hotel, and we had to go straight to our hotel room and quarantine until we received the test results. And once we received negative test results, thankfully, that meant that we're allowed to do some limited activities for the next week. We're only here for maybe 5 or 6 days, but for the first week after your first negative test, you can go to work, which for us is curling. So we can go to the ice rink, we can visit the ice rink, kind of bar, cafeteria area. We can go to the grocery store, and that's pretty much it.
You're quite limited with what you can do, so.
Yeah, that's certainly, I can understand that being a challenge for sure. But, for what you're trying to do, for what you need to there, that's not so bad then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really grateful that we have the chance to travel to an event at all. So we're used to limitations now. It doesn't seem abnormal that we aren't able to do everything we might want to. So, and the takeaway food options here are pretty good. So we just order takeout to our hotel room for most meals.
So tell us a little bit more about your team. I know we've seen you on the mixed doubles circuit for a number of years. The two of you are a team in mixed doubles, but also in life, partners in many ways. How does it work, curling together, living together, doing everything together?
So we started dating in 2017, and about 6 months later, we played our mixed doubles nationals just for fun. They were in Aberdeen, which was where Fraser lived at the time, and I was a school teacher at that point, and I had some holiday from work that week. So we were like, okay, that sounds good. We'll have a go at that, see how we got on. We won the event. And it was okay.
Beginner's luck, probably, but
yeah, that beginner's luck thing happened again. So we won the event, which meant at that stage that you qualified to represent Scotland at World Championships. That was in the October, and the Worlds weren't until April.
Which is probably a good thing, considering that was our first time playing mixed doubles.
Yeah.
So it gave us a bit of a chance to get used to the format and actually kind of curl more competitively for a wee while before it. So.
Yep, we played a couple of tour events. We got some practice in, tried to get a bit more method behind what we did rather than, I'd probably say winging it is how we got through the nationals. So yeah, we did that, and
played a few events on the tour and managed to win a couple on the way. And we actually came out to this event in Tallinn that year, and we've been here every year since. So
yeah, so this is the start of our fourth season on tour. We maybe only did a half season the first time, but it's our fourth season on tour. But yeah, we live together, curl together. We don't work together, so that's probably our little separate thing we do. But we tend to, I wouldn't say it's plain sailing the whole way, but I'm sure there's a number of people who play with spouses, family members, other halves. I'm pretty sure they would say the same, that it's not always plain sailing, but it can be pretty good as well.
Yeah, there's certainly a stronger bond that comes there. The communication on the ice is built into everything you do, and it's certainly an interesting storyline within the mixed doubles component of the sport as well.
Yeah. Definitely. And we sometimes find that skills we've built in being a sports team together, like sometimes you need to learn to put aside some other things when you have a job to do on the ice. But we sometimes found that's helped us in other things in life. Or if we need to build any like flat pack furniture and stuff like that, we tend to be pretty good at that because we've got the teamwork pretty nailed sometimes. So
there you go. So obviously with this season being kind of all over the place and so much uncertainty, what's your future plans? I know nothing is set in stone at this point, but what do you got coming up following this?
So we had originally entered the event in Bern, Switzerland, but they've been put onto our quarantine list in the last month or two.
Yeah.
So we've had to withdraw from that event because of that, because we can't afford to be stuck at home for 14 days. And after that, we've got an event in Aberdeen in December, which hopefully will go ahead. Obviously, it just depends how things are in Scotland at that point. But apart from that, we can't tell what's going to happen. We don't know if we'll have a national championship. We just don't know.
Yeah.
It just depends on how the kind of numbers are in Scotland. So just have to wait. It's a bit of a waiting game to see how things are.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of question marks around this, and and we're hoping to get as many events as we can in. And I know for people out there looking to try and get events going, this might be something as well as a solution for this, starting some smaller events. Maybe trying to find some other Scottish teams to come in and create a little mini event at home, and see how we can get some games in general. But otherwise, we'll see what we can do with a season and go from there.
I think so. It's tough to plan, and we had to go with a couple of risks for this event, for the event in Bern. We had to book flights. We didn't know if we get that money back if we couldn't go to the event. There's lots of different unknowns. We've been pretty lucky, but we're gonna hopefully use 4 individual flights for this trip. We've had 7 booked.
Wow.
Managed to get refunds for the other ones, but that was pretty lucky, to be honest. So yeah, it's tough. You try and budget as hard, like as good as well as you can for the season. But it's hard when you're not sure what to book or what's okay to book. But we've been really lucky. Some of our friends on tour, we're really good friends with one of the Estonian teams, and they let us borrow brooms when we got here, so that we didn't need to pay extra baggage for brooms, things like that. So people have been really helpful in helping us compete.
Yeah, and of course, speaking of budgets, there's costs to doing this and participating in events. Please, throw some shout outs to some of the supporters that you've had helping you along the way, any sponsors that you might have as well. We'd certainly like to hear from the people who are out there supporting curling, so that, fans can get out there and support them back as well.
Yeah. So we have, for our team, we have the Dumfries Larder, which is a shop in our local town. They've been super generous to us over the last few years. We have Hydrate Mate, who are, they provide us with hundreds of water bottles that help you kind of track your water intake. They've been really good to us as well. TP Niven, who are a local haulage company, also really good to us. And Selfield Dyslexia are a company that run a program to help people who are dyslexic, and they've been big supporters of ours. There's some curlers in there, which is great. They've been supporters of both us and some other teams as well over the last few years, which is really, really great. And we get some really good support from our kind of home rink in Dumfries. Like, as soon as we posted on our social media today, they're sharing and everything, and it's really, really good. And we should probably say that our family are great as well.
Certainly, for sure. I know the club at Dumfries is certainly doing a great job of building and promoting the sport. I know I've done some work with them with a number of the events there, and always excited to see that club doing well and continuing to promote the sport too. So I'd like to thank you for the chance to join in here. A chance to talk to some new faces that I'm sure a few people haven't seen around, and top of the table right now in Estonia, looking to try and take down another title. And until then. So I'm fumbling around at this ending here, but I definitely appreciate you guys coming on board. Any last words that you'd have for your fans?
Don't expect too much tomorrow. The luck might run out. No, it's good. We probably just want to say thanks to the organisers in Tallinn, particularly Julie and Harry, who have done such a great job of keeping this show on the road. I know you had to help them out with a tricky draw situation a couple of days ago, and they've done a really, really great job in really challenging conditions. So probably a thanks to them for getting us some games.
Yeah, the group in Estonia has really set up something really neat there. The club, the facility, how they manage it. It's pretty fun to see the excitement of curling in Estonia. Yeah. So anyways,
on our fourth.
Sorry, I interrupted you there.
It's all good. It's all good.
Anyways, we'll wrap it up here. I really appreciate Jayne Fraser for joining us here on Splitting the House. want to wish you good luck the rest of the weekend, and we'll be back later with our next interview. Until then, everyone, take care.
Thanks, Jerry. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.